Now we will make the real backup using the same procedure we demonstrated before. The first thing we would do is click on the Start button and type in backup and click Backup and Restore. And this is what comes up, this box here. Now, it tells us the last backup size was 53.97 gigabytes because we've already backed this one up. And if I just clicked on this button right now, we would have a backup again, a complete backup. But if we wanted to look at the settings to see what they were, we can click here. And this says starting Windows backup. Well, actually, it isn't starting Windows backup. It is starting up the procedure to check the settings. And in a few seconds, it will collect that information. And we will verify that that's what we want. The first thing that comes up, one of our settings, is select where you want to save the backup. It was set on local disk F, which is what we do want. So we will go through and this setting here, let Windows choose where to back up. No, what you want to back up. Absolutely, this is what we want to choose. Let Windows, in this case here, we're backing up all of the files, settings for all the users, and we're going to have a system image also. And I haven't changed any of the settings, but we'll just click on Save Settings. And then we come up here and click on Backup Now. And when I click on Backup Now, the backup process does start. And it's starting now, and it's in progress, and which it says it is. And if you want to see the details, we will click on this, and up comes this box, which shows the details. At first, it says it's creating a shadow copy. A shadow copy saves the existing files and makes a copy of them and saves them in case we ever want to go back to them. But it only takes a second to do that. And the next thing that it does, it will start saving the files. And of course, since there's only one user, and these are the files, and it says, you can see where it says C users Al documents, and it goes through and checks about 15 locations, and any of the libraries that are in existence. It also backs up everything. So that every one of the files that I have made is in this backup. There isn't any other place to put files. This is all of them. So this takes a few minutes. Before what it does, it checks all these locations and sees if anything has changed in those locations since the last time that it was backed up. And if it has changed, then it writes those files again. And while we're waiting for that, I will tell you a few things about the backup program. All backup programs have their advantages and disadvantages. And now we'll talk about the Windows 7 backup utility. And that's the one we're in. Windows 7 backup advantages are that everybody has Windows 7, already has it. And it's free. And it works. And it's integrated into Windows 7 and has links to System Restore and Recovery. Those are separate items, but it has links to them that we can get to real easy. And that's not all. Files that are backed up by one Windows 7 computer can easily be downloaded to another Windows 7 computer, and that's got to be important. It's important to me. But does that make it the best program? Probably not. But it is important enough to learn how to use it. There's a lot of confusion between control points, system restore points, recovery, and backup and restore, which themselves are three separate things. System restore backs up the registry and keeps a series of registry backups that can be used to return your computer to a better time, maybe before a failed Windows update or some minor setting that got changed. And there is recovery, a separate control panel function, and we have backup and restore that backs up personal files, settings, and makes an image of the entire drive, and it also connects them all together. Tonight we'll talk about the backup and restore, which backs up all users' files and the image of the drive. But I have to talk about system restore points, and I have to talk about restoring personal files at times, restoring the image file to replace everything. But all of that is unimportant and won't do any good at all if you don't have a complete file backup and image backup first. Now we can see on the screen that all of the files have been backed up, and it's scanning the system, getting ready to make a system image. For most of us, setting up backup, if we do it once a week, that's fine. Just make sure that and to do it, you can do it automatically. You can see up here in this panel here, it says turn off the schedule. This computer is scheduled to do it once a week, every Sunday at 4 o'clock, and you can see down here. The first time you make a copy, it probably takes about 12 minutes for every 10 gigabytes of information you have. Of course, maybe your computer is faster, but this is roughly 12 minutes for every 10 gigabytes. And this one here had about 55 gigabytes to back up. So it took an hour and 7 or 8 minutes. But when we're doing it again, this time, the backup will go very fast. In fact, it will finish real soon. And when it gets to this place, you look at it and you say, oh, that's going to take a lot longer. Pretty soon it'll run over here in a very fast way. So this, what we have talked about here, is something that everybody ought to do. They ought to make a full backup, even if they don't understand everything about backup and restore. You need to have all your files backed up and a system image. And also, of course, as you can see over here on the left side of the screen, there is a create a system image repair disk. And you do want to make one of them too. And that's it only takes about 5 minutes to make that disk. And it can be a CD or a DVD, either one. So there's 3 parts to back up and restore. Storing your system, storing all your personal files, and making a system image, and making a system repair disk, so that in case your computer crashes, you can get to all that information and restore it to the way it was the day you made the image. Now, if you have an image that you made a year ago, what good is it going to do you now, in a way? I mean, you've downloaded many updates, you've installed many programs, you've changed many settings, and you've added many files. So what we want updates, but we want recent updates. And there you can see that the backup is almost completed. It will be ready, it'll be stop in just a moment. And we have made a complete backup in less than 10 minutes. And it's completed successfully. So we will close it. And that's all there is to making a